Yeah, we've always done. I've worked with Trent since 2010, and then on and off in those years. And Trent's always, conscious of it. So yeah, there are times when, and again, not counting third downs and empty backfields where it's obviously passing situations. We're always monitoring to see where he is, and he's always working on it. I mean, sometimes it's just you get in a situation where you start getting your stance, you realize what you need to do to get your job done demands that you just say, yeah, whatever, I got to get my job done. And other times, there is times where he could be more conscious of it. And so it's a constant battle with every player. Every player could give a tip. So whether it's Trent with his foot, whether it's Mike with this, or Spencer with this, or the center with this, when he's going to snap the ball, we're always looking at it. We're listening to the TV copy. We're listening to everything. We're trying to see what the other teams may or may not get on it. So, if they think it's a tip, again, we're working on it. Trent's working on it. And so that's about all I can say.
What are traditional or typical tips that offensive linemen have? Just where they are in stances?
It can be anything. Some guys have nervous tics, like they're moving their hand, and then just before the ball snap, they stop it. We had one, we forget the tips of an offensive lineman. We had a formation tendency when I was in Baltimore once where if the tight end was off the ball, we just gotten into a bad habit. And every time he was off the ball, he was in protection. Every time he was on the ball, he was releasing on third down. And a defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, actually, every time the tight end was off the ball, they ran a 3-man rush and dropped 8. We didn't have enough guys out in the route, and they gave us fits all day. Every time he was on the ball, he rushed more than we could block just because of where we lined up the tight end. So I think there's whatever, everybody's got something. Sometimes it's just as much as the stagger of the feet. It can be where he puts his hands. It can be how he holds his head. It can be the center of the way. There's a million things and that's why you have to stay vigilant with it. That's why to say that, oh wow, that's a surprise. We're always conscious of trying to work through all those things with the guys. At the same time, a guy's got to do his job, and so there's that constant balance. And I'm always making the point, hey, yeah, I got it, for a player. This is good for you in this situation. It's the same with fundamentals and techniques. This fundamental is good. If all I have to do is block Jen, I'm in great shape right here, right? But if all of a sudden this and this and this happens, I better be doing something different to make sure all those things are taken care of. It's the same thing with this thing. It may be great for you to be able to block this guy, but with everything else that goes on, maybe it tips off that they change a coverage to know that it's this, that, or the other thing. So it's this constant balancing act. So it's not as simple as you get in the same stance every play. Here we go. Let's, 4 yards in a cloud of dust and throw the ball on third down. And it's not that simple. There's more to it than that, but it's also as simple as, hey, you got to make sure there's balance to it. It's a long answer, but it's a lot of questions about it.
One of those things where he's so good, he can almost tell you what's coming and it's hard to beat him, but it's about the rest of the offense.
I think that's a great way to look at it. I think he's like, yeah, coach, but I ain't going to give that guy anything on me by getting in a, and I'm like, I got you, boy. I got you, Trent. But it's like also, what about McGlinchey on the other side where the one guy says to the other guy, hey, it's pass. And now all of a sudden there's no run keys on the other side. So there's that balancing act that goes on. It happens everywhere. It's not just Mike. It's not just them. It could be receiver splits. It could be the way the receiver stands. It could be, there's a million things that defenses are looking at trying to get a key.
Look for those things when you're on the sideline or you're looking at the defensive line.
We look at it when we're watching the tape. On game day, I'm a little busier than that. But yeah, you do look at the tape. Sometimes, I'm sorry, one thing to follow up. Sometimes to give a plug for Surface here, the Surface you can see things sometimes on the pictures that say, hey, notice, hey, on the game, the defensive end, notice he's a little bit deeper here, and that they ran that stunt, so maybe next time they might do the same. The little things like that sometimes show up.